Have you ever felt like you're in a spiritual drought? Like God is silent, the heavens are shut, and you're just wandering in a dry and weary land? You're not alone. Today we're diving into a story about a literal drought that has some powerful lessons for our own spiritual dry spells. Let's jump into 1 Kings chapters 17 and 18. We meet the prophet Elijah, who bursts onto the scene with a bold declaration to the wicked King Ahab. He says, "As the Lord, the God of Israel, lives whom I serve, there will be neither dew nor rain in the next few years except at my word." Talk about making an entrance. Elijah, led by God, then goes into hiding. First, he's by the Kerith Ravine, where ravens, yes, ravens, bring him bread and meat every morning and evening. Think about that. In a time of scarcity, God uses the most unlikely of creatures to provide for his servant. This shows us that God's provision can come from places we'd never expect. When the brook dries up, God sends Elijah to a widow in Zarephath. Now, this isn't a wealthy benefactor. She's a Gentile widow who is down to her very last meal for herself and her son. She's literally preparing to die. But Elijah asks her for a small cake of bread first, promising that her jar of flour will not be used up and her jug of oil will not run dry until the Lord sends rain. The widow takes a huge leap of faith. She obeys, and God's miracle sustains her, her son, and Elijah for the entire duration of the drought. This is a powerful reminder that our faith isn't about the size of our resources, but the size of our God. Even when we feel like we have nothing left to give, a step of obedience can unlock a flow of supernatural provision. But the story doesn't end there. The widow's son becomes ill and dies. Can you imagine her despair? She's just seen a miracle of provision, and now she faces the ultimate loss. She cries out to Elijah, and Elijah cries out to God. He stretches himself out on the boy 3 times and pleads with God to restore his life. And God hears him. The boy's life returns. This isn't just about a physical resurrection. It's about the power of persistent, passionate prayer. It teaches us not to give up, even in our darkest moments of loss and grief. God is still the God of life and restoration. After 3 long years, God tells Elijah it's time for a showdown. He's to present himself to King Ahab and confront the nation's idolatry head-on. The stage is set on Mount Carmel. It's Elijah against 450 prophets of Baal and 400 prophets of Asherah. The challenge is simple. The God who answers by fire is the true God. The prophets of Baal go first. From morning till noon, they cry out, they dance, they slash themselves, but there's nothing. No voice, no answer, no fire. Elijah even taunts them, saying, "Shout louder! Perhaps he is deep in thought, or busy, or traveling. Maybe he is sleeping and must be awakened." It's a dramatic display of the emptiness of false gods. Then, it's Elijah's turn. He takes his time. He rebuilds the Lord's altar with 12 stones, representing the 12 tribes of Israel. He digs a trench around it and has the people drench the altar and the wood with water, not just once, but 3 times, until the trench is filled. There's no room for doubt. No chance of trickery. Then, Elijah prays a simple, powerful prayer. He asks God to show the people that he is God and that he is turning their hearts back to him. And what happens next is legendary. The fire of the Lord falls from heaven. It consumes the offering, the wood, the stones, the soil, and even licks up the water in the trench. The people fall on their faces and declare, "The Lord, He is God, the Lord, He is God." This powerful display wasn't just about proving a point. It was about revealing God's glory and calling His people back to Himself. So what can we take from this incredible story? First, in our seasons of drought, trust God's unconventional provision. Second, have faith even when your resources feel empty. Third, pray with passion and persistence even when the situation seems hopeless. And finally, remember that our God is a God who answers by fire. He is powerful enough to reveal Himself in the most dramatic ways to turn our hearts back to Him. Whatever drought you're facing, hold on. The God of Elijah is your God too. Thanks so much for watching. If this story encouraged you, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into Scripture. We'll see you in the next video.